Good evening to you. It's John D. Villarreal here, and wow, we have a big, huge match coming up very soon in Dubai. It's the King of the Table 2 versus where we've got the legend, the greatest of all time. I don't think there's any dispute on that. I don't think anybody disputes that, in my personal opinion. John Brzenk versus what some would say is maybe the number one or the number two right now in the world, Devon Larratt. Devon Larratt, who destroyed Michael Todd in that first King of the Table. I mean, in my opinion, first of all, everything I'm saying is all my personal opinion only, not alleging facts and casting aspersions, all for entertainment purposes only. Please check all the disclaimers. Now, Devon Larratt destroyed Michael Todd. It was just 6-0. Michael Todd had nothing. Michael Todd was talking so much stuff, and Devon Larratt just took him out. Devon Larratt was up over 290 pounds. We've never seen Devon Larratt that powerful, that strong before. And John Brzenk has been out of it. Has been out of it for a while. Basically retired. John Brzenk was, nowhere to be found competitively for a bit. But you're also talking about, and John Brzenk is, closer to 60 than to 50. At the same time, you're talking about John Brzenk. You're talking about somebody who is so good and so devastating. And I've been analyzing the matches between Devon Larratt. I've been actually analyzing arm wrestling for a while now. And those that don't know, I'm a multinational champion powerlifter. I took third in the world in 2004 in the World Powerlifting Championships, and I've trained a lot of athletes, including professional athletes and elite and world-class athletes. And so, I definitely have studied arm wrestling quite a bit, and I know the athletes. I've been following some things, and it's very entertaining. Devon Larratt, tremendous ambassador for the sport, no question about it. Tremendous competitor. But remember, people were saying Devon Larratt, was sort of out of it. Maybe a lot of people were predicting that he wasn't. I could see, how serious Devon Larratt is. Devon Larratt is a serious competitor. Former Special Forces from Canada, went up to TriStar Gym, trained really hard, has the long levers, definitely knows how to be very competitive, how to work a match, how to set up a match. And how to, the endurance is ridiculous. That being said, you're talking about John Brzenk. And I don't want to keep leaning on that, but I'm going to keep leaning on that because, you don't win as much against everybody. I mean, the dude has faced and beat Saplinkov. The dude has beat Michael Todd. He's beat Devon Larratt more times than Devon Larratt's beat him. I mean, Brzenk's beat everybody. Cleve Dean, anyone who's anyone, and he just destroyed Sill. Destroyed him, okay? And he was matched up with Michael Todd. And listen, John Brzenk is getting better very quickly now. Ryan Bowen was showing some photographs of Brzenk. Brzenk is looking jacked. He's north of 250 pounds. This is not the John Brzenk of, years ago. This is John Brzenk right now. This is John Brzenk right now. The other thing that I notice about John Brzenk, besides the physicality, I expect John Brzenk to be somewhere between, I'd say 254 and 260 when it comes down to match time. That's going to be a John Brzenk that's ready to go with anybody, Levant, anybody. Okay. The other thing is, I think Devon Larratt. I think we'll see Devon Larratt around 280, 285. I think somewhere around that. Listen, he comes in 300 pounds and wins the prize. I don't think it matters that much. And here's why I say that. Because when you are, the more weight that Larratt puts on, in my opinion, the less endurance he's going to have. Okay, it's just gonna, listen. There's only so much you can. There's only so many different variables that you can play with here, and it's not always. You don't see a lot of Larry Wheels, I guess. Maybe the exception, but you don't see a lot of. And Larry, Larry's done everything. Larry's incredible. Larry's great, but you don't see a lot of Mr. Olympia looking, bodybuilders doing amazing things on the arm wrestling table, especially if they have a prolonged match. I mean, I go back to that Jerry Caderet versus Michael Todd match. I mean, that's a war for like, what, 7 minutes? I mean, you're going to really get taxed. So you have to, are you trying to set up your training for quick wins like a Travis Bagent, or are you trying to set up your training to have that endurance and bleed people out and stop the hit, maybe like a Devon Larratt or a Crazy George? Now, so I don't think it's super. I think it's more important where John Brzenk is physically than Devon Larratt. We know Devon Larratt's going to be prepared. We know he's going to be super strong. We know he's going to be probably, I would predict he's going to be somewhere over 280 pounds, 280, 285. I'll go 280, 290. Give myself a little bit of room. I don't think he goes much beyond that. But, again, he comes in 300 pounds. Like, what? So what? Now, what I noticed by analyzing this stuff is, and this is, I mean, I've seen a bunch of John Brzenk matches over and over and over again, and I just think that Brzenk has too many ways to win. Devon Larratt has a lot of ways to win too, and if you heard, Brzenk just wants to get Larratt's respect, maybe win one match. I don't think it's like that. I mean, John Brzenk has been crushing people that were like, about a notch or two below the best. And none of them have been in this match. Okay, been in a real match with him. In my opinion, I think he kind of, I think John Brzenk has, let me put it this way. I think John Brzenk has more than he's even shown in these matches. I really believe that. Now, what I've noticed with Brzenk, and I'm going to try to set this up right for the camera. It's going to be tough here as I'm, doing my own camera work here. When Brzenk, and this is very interesting, and this is why, Brzenk is, he will match up, and I'm not going to be able to get this. I'm not going to be able to get this grip right, but I think I'm going to do the best I can here. Brzenk will match up. Now, what happens with what I've seen with Brzenk, which is really interesting, is he will grip, and he has a move where he just secures his thumb and drives it almost back, and then down. And then when you do that, when you cut this off like that and you're going back like that, and basically the competitor's hand is like this, you lose all ability to, or tremendous amounts of ability to throw any power into that move at that point. He just sends a competitor's arm back like that. He has ridiculous hand strength and the tendons. I mean, so he has ways to neutralize and nullify a lot of the strength of Devon Larratt. Now, am I saying, hey, I think John Brzenk's going to win? I think it's really close. I think it's tough. I think it's really close. You know what? I'm going to go on a limb. I think John Brzenk will win. I mean, it's a tough one. But I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to say that John Brzenk is going to win because he's won more of these matches. Sure, Devon Larratt is, has done some impressive things and kind of, just crush Michael Todd. But let me put it this way, and no disrespect to Michael Todd, I know he's great, but I never considered Michael Todd like in that super upper level of the best of the best. Of course, it's kind of like Mr. Olympias, you know what I mean? There's people that have won Mr. Olympias that you may have forgot won Mr. Olympias. You see what I'm saying? Like if you don't really follow it and stuff. And then you have the people like Phil Heath, Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously, King Ronnie Coleman, Lee Haney, Jay Cutler, etc. Those are Mr. Olympia champions. So I think Michael Todd is a tremendous competitor. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, but I think that Michael Todd, you have a certain, I just don't feel like he is at that super level. Could be wrong. But, I mean, that's kind of how I felt like, Michael Todd at any given time can be in that conversation. And then, obviously, these things fluctuate. But I think that Michael Todd versus Travis Bagent at his best, I think Travis Bagent's better. I think Michael Todd versus Dave Chafee at his best, I think Dave Chafee's better. You see what I'm saying? and obviously Saplinkov and Vovoda, and there's a lot of other names here that are up there. Brzenk, show me any time where Michael Todd is better than Brzenk. It's tough. I don't know. I think you'd have a hard time fighting that time. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Brzenk has been there. So that doesn't mean that, again, Michael Todd, another great ambassador, another great competitor. I think Michael Todd trains very hard. I think, and he puts himself in a position to be in the conversation at all times. So, I mean, again, no disrespect to Michael Todd. Michael Todd's great. Right? But I feel like Michael Todd can be beat mentally. That's my opinion of that. And I think that it's very hard to beat John Brzenk mentally. I think John Brzenk comes in with just a mental edge, right? Even with someone as tough mentally and such a competitor as Devon Larratt, because you're so much experience that Brzenk has. It's insane. And he was talking about the time that they matched up, and he was with Neil Pickup. And Michael, and it was Larratt and Neil Pickup and Brzenk. And Brzenk was basically saying, like, hey, this is my interpretation. I'm not making any allegations. Maybe I misinterpreted. But, I mean, I felt like Brzenk was basically saying, hey, I don't think I got a fair setup, right? And the referees, and there's all kinds of, rules and stuff. And, because... And look at the strength of Brzenk. And this is kind of tells you everything. No, certain competitors want certain setups. But basically, Brzenk was kind of my impression is that Devon Larratt wanted to run and get to the strap, basically. And I think Devon Larratt, like, he was walking around with a strap, like he's got straps in his sweats and stuff like that, and that's fine. Everyone's got sort of when I used to compete in lifting, like, I can squat all kinds of different ways, but I have a certain way that I like to set up to, so I'm not saying that, but someone like John Brzenk with the power of the hand, if you're worried someone's going to overpower you with the hand or get better hand position on you, you may want to go to the trap. And it seemed like that's kind of what Brzenk was saying, is that, hey, Devon Larratt wants certain rules where you're not forced to get a grip. You don't have to get a foul. If you're not trying to get a grip or the referee's grip, you're not set up, then it basically goes to the strap. And Brzenk, I don't think was liking that, because look, this is arm wrestling. Why shouldn't you have to get a grip? Why are you worried about John Brzenk's hand power? If you think you're the best, if you think Brzenk's out of it, set it up. Now, if you slip or whatever, you shouldn't. Listen, I think you should have to get a grip. As simple as that. It's not because, I favor Brzenk. Listen, I think both these competitors are awesome, right? I think that Devon Larratt is fantastic. They're both amazing for the sport, both great champions. This really is the most interesting match out there. I know Levon's amazing, and Levon can probably can beat anybody right now, right? Levon is, but I do think that there's ways that Levon can be beat. I definitely don't think Levon is unbeatable. And I think that, when we'll see how long Levon can stay at that level, right? That's a whole different, but Levon is fantastic. And so, that's the other thing. With the promotions and stuff, and we do need to see more matchups between, the Levons and the Saplinkovs and everybody. The world's best should face the world's best, basically, is what I'm saying. But this is part of that, right? We've got Canada represented by Devon Larratt versus, to some degree, the U.S. Represented by John Brzenk. And I just feel like John Brzenk, with his superior hand strength and capabilities, is definitely going to be in this match. I think that they should be forced to get a grip. We'll see. The rules are probably already set. I think the refereeing and the rules are definitely going to be have an impact on this. And part of it is going to be like, look, there's ways you can win. A lot of people were making comments of Michael Todd's under the table and all that type of stuff, the King's move. Here's my feeling on that. On the one hand, if whatever's in the rules and is legit, then you can employ, various different techniques, okay? On the other hand, if you really feel like you're the best and, hey, John Brzenk can't beat you or whatever, then just, grip up and take a fair grip, see what happens, okay? So now maybe that's easier said than done. I know, everybody wants to win and there's a lot of money and different things and ego and pride involved and everything. It's going to be interesting. But I mean, if you've got the pride of a champion, and see what's up, right? So, look, I think it's going to be very, very. Like I said, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. There's no doubt about it. I think Brzenk's going to win. I do think, or at least have some surprises. It's hard for me to believe, with this stipulation, they have to give Brzenk. They don't have to, but I mean, they should be forced to grip up. They should have a fair. I mean, everything shouldn't just run immediately to the straps. They should be forced to grip up. They should be forced to try to get a grip, as long as the refereeing is legit. And what I mean by that is, I don't want to see 50 different fouls, for just setting up. What people want to see them have a chance to do their thing in arm wrestle, I believe, right? But they should be forced to get a grip. If someone's not trying to engage, not trying to get a grip, not trying to, or just run to the strap, then that should be a foul, right? It should be forced to get a grip, in my opinion. But other than that, as long as something's not flagrant stuff, let them arm wrestle, right? And, so you shouldn't be able to just, one competitor shouldn't be able to easily foul the other person out to get a win, and you shouldn't be able to just run to the straps. You should have to get a grip, try to be a champion, try to see what happens, and then go from there. That's what I think about that. But look, it's very, very exciting. I think that, I guess, I just keep going back and forth. Nothing would surprise me in this match. Devon Larratt, both of them are going to come very, very prepared. On paper, just because of, recent wins, recent preparation, age, everything like that, you would probably favor Devon Larratt. But I think that John Brzenk is so incredible, and I think John Brzenk is we may see a John Brzenk that we may not have seen before. Okay, I mean, John Brzenk has looked really, really impressive, and I think there's a level of motivation there, and I think you're dealing with someone with the level of experience and hand strength, and as long as they give, a fair setup, I think John Brzenk is absolutely in this. So I think that you just cannot underestimate the experience, the ability, the capability, the championship mentality. And again, people undersell that because he's just such a cool guy and easy to chill with. But I mean, you do not win as much as Brzenk has won everywhere, all over the place, without having just a steel mind. Okay, this dude is a champion's champion, and I haven't seen anybody like him on the table that is that mentally strong. And here's how you know that. He will grip up with almost anybody. I remember when he faced Travis Bagent and stuff like that, in that comment, he wasn't ready. Bagent beat him, stuff like that, I think for 10 grand, whatever. He was outweighed by a lot, but it doesn't matter. He gripped up. He's not afraid of anybody. So I think that Brzenk has at least, has an ace up the sleeve somewhere. I mean, for all the people sleeping on Brzenk, do not be surprised if he gets this win. And then what? And then what? And then what if that happens? Is it Levon? I mean, whoa. I mean, what happens then? Everything. I mean, everything's up in the air, which is so exciting. Or if Devon Larratt. I mean, then, I mean, who knows? Listen, this is going to be great. I think they are both ridiculously motivated, both incredible. Devon Larratt, I mean, he's going to be, like I said, I think 280 to 290. He's going to be every bit of 280. He comes in 300. That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it's going to be crazy. This is so great. They're both amazing champions. There really is no bad result. The world of arm wrestling and even the casual fans and the professional fans are going to win on this, in my opinion. I just hope they're both healthy. I hope it's a great match, and I hope that the referees and the rules force these two to engage and get a grip. Get a grip. If it slips and he goes to a strap, I mean, no one's going to cry if it goes to a strap one or two times, but it can't be just immediately go to the strap every single time, right? I mean, it's just, you got to get a grip. You got to, let That's how arm wrestling started. That's how it should be, right? Instead of all these strap matches, in my opinion. Let him get a grip. Make him get a grip. If Brzenk's got the better hand and can beat you in the hand, that's what it is. If you're able to do what you do and get your strap, Larratt, then it gets your strap. But it shouldn't the rules shouldn't be set up and the refereeing shouldn't be set up so it just runs to the strap, right? So if you think you're the best, Larratt, you got to prove it. And the only way you prove it is by gripping up, buddy. Gripping up and seeing what you can do. All right? That's a champion to a champion. You got to grip up and see what you can do. And if you can't do it, you can't do it, big boy. Right? So if you think Brzenk's done, if you think you're so much better, then show it and prove it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I understand the mentality of trying to work the rules and do different things for your advantage because you want to win. I understand that competitor mentality, but there also has to be some competitor integrity, right? Integrity for the sport. If you think you're the best, you got to prove it. And the only way you prove it is to grip up and try to engage and then see where it is, So you can't, let me put it a little bit better. You can't set it up so that John can't play his game, right? You got to give it a fair shot and then you go from there, right? You got to grip up and give it a fair shot, fair start, and then you go from there. Now, if you say, hey, I'd rather be in the strap, try to get your, then you can try to get your strap, right? Now, you can't, again, if you try to slip out in a losing position, you're going to lose. And we all know the rules, right? You guys know the rules way better than I do. But that's what I think about that. So we'll see. Look, if I have to make a prediction, and I will probably update this prediction, obviously, because, I got to see the weigh-in. I got to see everything, right? I can see everything. But at this point in time, right now, tonight, I'm going to go Brzenk by a little bit. He at least wins. He at least gets his, does what he wants to do. He at least wins one match. And if I have to say who I think is going to win overall, I'm going to lean Brzenk. But it's really close. I think it's going to be incredible. It's really close. But I favor Brzenk. I do favor Brzenk because I just think that Brzenk he's going to have the horsepower. Remember, he has technique, he has experience, he has everything. All these things matter. I think he's going to be very, very prepared for this, much more so. Of course he had it 6 months or a year, but I think he's going to be ready. So we'll see. I'm going with Brzenk. Let me know what you think. Give me the comments below. Please subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'm John D. Villarreal. I will have an update video on this where I have a closer. Hold on. We got a comment here in the chat. Yes, Ricky. Yes, exactly. He agrees with me. That's what I'm saying. So that's good. Appreciate that, Ricky. Definitely appreciate that. Yeah, that's it. See, even the fans, Devon, even the fans. If you think you're the best, grip up, and let's see what you can do. That's it. Don't run to the strap. See what you can do, and we'll go from there. I like it. Hey, that's what I've got to say. We appreciate you out there. Give me the comments below. Please subscribe. I will have an update video on this because to be able to make the right prediction, I've got to see the weigh-in. But this is so exciting. It's going to be great. Give me the comments. Let me know what else you want to see. We're going to be doing lots more live streams, lots more commentary. I'm going to start covering more arm wrestling, everything sports. We have so much planned for this channel, so it's great. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Have a great night.